Hi there, welcome back to the channel and part 2 of the battery box build. If you remember, in the first video I broke the panel, or the mounting panel, which I had to mount all of the different sockets. So I stopped the video there. I called that part 1, and then I've got to now redo it. So here goes with part 2. Let me show you what I'm doing. Okay, so this is all pieces of the first panel that I broke. That's the broken piece there. But let me show you the new panel. Actually, just a little bit off the topic, and one of the next builds coming up, and it's probably going to be my biggest build yet, is I'm building a camper trailer, or a camping trailer off-road type of thing. And these are two independent rubber torsion axles. Once again, spoils of war from my brother-in-law Vikesh up in Johannesburg, so thank you to him. So these are actually going to be the independent rear axles for my camper trailer build coming up. So stay tuned to the channel and subscribe for that coming up. But I'm gonna have to look for sponsors on that project, so I'll keep you posted on it. Okay, so here's the second panel that I've marked out, and I'm doing what I should have done on the first panel, and that is cut all of these holes with it not being mounted. There was too much of give, which ended up in it being cracked, or me cracking it. So I'm going to drill this out, cut it and mount, and then when I come back we'll continue. Okay, panel number 2. After a bit of cutting and drilling, fortunately this plexiglass is pretty easy to work with. It files easily, drills pretty easily, but you got to be so careful because it's a little bit brittle. So if you put too much of pressure on it, it tends to crack, like you've seen in the last one. I'm happy with that. Everything's pre-drilled, so what I'm going to do now is mount it on, and then mount all of the fittings on, and then we can go start wiring. Let me show you the other thing that I'm doing here. So I'm putting this piece of aluminium across here at the back. I'm just a bit concerned that this thing cracks very easily. With pushing in and out, I'm just a bit concerned that it might be a bit too weak, so I added that in, because if you just, I don't know if you can make out there, you can't, but I've actually cracked it across there. You're not going to see it, so I can get away with that. So yeah, it's probably not the best material to be working with, but it's what I could get, so let's see how it works out. Those are the ventilation hole. It's a lead acid battery, so it requires ventilation. So I'm gonna pop these in there. Screw them in.
Instrumentals music.
Okay, so I think that's going to provide some nice ventilation. I've put 3 of them there, and you can see the one on the front here I've made lower than the other, so you get a little bit updraft of air as you go in. So cold air obviously would flow in from the lower one, and then you get the outflow from the higher ones. Anyway, That's the thinking, or that's the science behind how air flows. Okay, so let's continue. So I've got it all mounted up without breaking it too much. I broke it there, but it's fine. It's quite strong, can't really see it. And then you could just make out that aluminium piece that I've got in the back. Much firmer with it. Definitely, I'm happy that I did that. Here you can see it at the back. So we are now at that stage where I think I'm going to start connecting it up. The perfectionist in me doesn't like that. It's too much of a gap there, and that's slightly skew, and there the gap's not the greatest, but I suppose it's done now, so it will have to do. So let's start working on wiring all of this up. I need to make up a bracket to hold the battery in place, so what I'm thinking of doing is just throwing a piece of flat bar underneath the box with the holes drilled on either side, and then some threaded rod through it with some nylox underneath and some wing nuts at the top with another piece of flat bar at the top. So let's just check the size of this. It looks like a 6mm threaded rod that I have. Just verify that there. Yeah, that's 6mm. So there's a neat little thing that one of the guys on my woodworking group made up. Colin Smith, I think it is, and it's made out of stainless steel, and it's basically a quick reference for your drill bits. I have a couple of these lying around the workshop next to my metal lathe as well. So it's Touchwood Designs, that's his number, on my woodworking group. So here's a free hit here for you, but on my channel. So yeah, let's get then to making the bracket to hold the battery in place. Okay, so that's the bracket drilled. That one's going to go on the top. It's a piece of aluminium. I'll stick a bit of sponge rubber under there, so just to protect the battery a little bit. I'm going to give this one a quick paint job just to protect it. So I'm just going to wipe it down quickly. Just take up all the oil and stuff from it. Just clean it up and paint a bit. And I'll give it a quick spray job. Okay, so I'm just going to allow that to dry a little bit, and then we'll start mounting it up. In the meantime, I'll start cutting up the threaded rod. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is establish the length of threaded rod that I'm going to need. As you see, I've drilled there. So I'm going to put some nylox underneath here. So nylox to hold it in place. Then that's a bracket, and I've scientifically established that, let me show you, let's take this nylock out. I have scientifically established that is how long the threaded rod should be according to science. It's perfect. So I'm starting to wire these things up, and this is the volt amp meter. Now, the one criticism that I have for 4x4 direct, or this specific unit, is that it doesn't come with any instructions. All it comes is in a little bag like that. So, you know, even the even the plugs, they don't tell you what is what. I've actually now had to go onto the internet to try and figure out how to connect this thing. Those dots that you see, the red, the yellow and the black, I've actually put with markers now to sort of figure out the wiring. So I'm hoping that I've got this right and I don't blow the unit. But yeah, no, 4x4 Direct definitely need to get it right on this unit. You actually have to go onto their website or go onto YouTube to try and figure out how to connect this. Okay, after much fiddling around and looking at the diagram that's on the 4x4 Direct website for this product, I've managed to figure out that this volt and amp meter can only be connected with two power sources. So it can only be connected as a 0 to 100 volt and not as a 4 to 30 volt. So other units like this can be connected in two ways. This one though is made to work with two power sources and can only be connected this way. So eventually I got it figured out. Here you can see the voltage, 12.9 volts and 0.30 amps when I switch the load. So when I switch the load off, switch the load on. So unfortunately it's not going to work for my application, so I'm going to leave it out. We'll use this when I do the camping trailer build, so that one will be used then, but I'll probably need to get one just for this box. Let me show you what I'm doing here. So I've decided to use this simply as a voltmeter. You can use it just as a voltmeter. The trick and the complicating part comes in when you've got to connect the amp meter. So I'll use it as a voltmeter only. So I've got the switch in there already, and basically power will come in from the battery into the switch. From the switch it powers into the voltmeter. Then I'll run after the switch. I will run it into the fuse, then from the fuse out into the two different sockets, and then into another fuse, and then into the Anderson plug and the two other sockets. So pretty simple. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, let me show you what I did. tried to force that little contact there, and I've broken it. This plexiglass is real rubbish stuff. This thing is just brittle and an absolute waste of time. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is, I don't know actually. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna stick something over that, I don't know. Or back to the drawing board. Let's see. So what I did was put that little piece over it. I haven't fixed it down yet or screwed it in. What I will do is I'm going to paint it a different color just so it looks like a feature, and you can see that thing's not very square as well, so I'll square it out. But I just wanted to see if it works, which I think it will work. So let me show you inside what it's starting to look like. I created that little rail there, so that's all of the power positive. Gotta do one more for the top here, and then I'll run a common. I'm running the negative, I'm running everything in parallel. So now it's starting to take shape, besides this rubbish plexiglass that I'm using. I think at a later stage I'm going to change that with something stronger, but for now we'll just leave it. The wiring is all done now. Probably not the neatest, but it works, I think. I hope. Let's hope we don't blow anything up. So yeah, the Anderson plug is connected. Positive, negatives all done. That wire goes to the battery. Those two Andersons at the bottom there are not connected as yet. When I have a proper battery charger and a bigger solar panel, then I will hook those up. But so yeah, now I'm gonna pop the battery in. You can see the two holes there at the bottom for the bracket that I made. So I'm gonna pop the battery in and let's light it up. Not literally, I hope. Here's my battery bracket. Pretty neat, I think. Does the trick. Yeah, I'm chuffed with that. As I was saying yesterday, this unit here, the bad thing about it is that it comes without any color-coded wires like you see in this unit. So I've put in those 3 dots as I mentioned, but somewhere along the line yesterday when I was wiring this thing up, because I couldn't see, or I didn't double check, I popped this unit. So when I connected it up, there was a nice pop, and that's $200 down the drain, so we'll do away with that one. Fortunately, I had another unit pretty similar, but that one from 4x4 Direct is a 20 amp. It's you can feel the difference. It's a much heavier unit. So this one is only 10 amp, but it will work, you know. It would be nice to have the 20 amp or slightly higher in case I'm running a fridge or something off this, but for the time being, let's just use this one, and at a later stage we can change it. And the downside to that one is that I needed 2 power sources for it. So normally you'd have it on your vehicle, and you know the power source for the unit itself would come from your battery, and then you'd have a separate power source to power your load, your fridge, etc. So let's wire this one up, and hopefully I don't pop this one as well. So connecting 4 to 24 volts on this unit, you'll see the 2 thicker wires there, and then you'll see the 3 thinner wires there, and connecting with one power source, basically your negative wire, your common, will go to your common on your power source. Your red wire here will will go to the negative on your load. So whatever you're using, whether it's a light or whatever, the red will go to the negative on that. Then your thin yellow and thin red wire will join together, and they'll go to your positive on your power source. They'll join up with your positive on your power source, and then that will connect to your battery, positive on your battery. The black thin wire doesn't get connected in this format, so you just leave that one, just roll it up and leave it aside. If you were using it, connecting it with two power sources, then it would connect differently, but yeah, you just leave the black aside.
Is that the working one?
Yeah, this is the one that works.
Okay, please don't blow it up.
Wise guy. Wise guy. Okay, let's hope we don't blow it up. Okay, so I connected everything up. There was no smoke. I'm gonna get Wise ass here to switch it on, because he's the one that told me not to blow it up. Yay, and it worked. So just turn the flash off there. So you can see it's showing the voltage, but it's not showing the amperage. It will show the amperage when I pull a load across it. So what I'm going to do is connect something up. Actually, I can't connect anything up because I don't have fuses. So I'm going to get some spade fuses and blade fuses, and then connect it up and see if it works. Okay, battery bracket. See, I put some sponge on it there so that it doesn't damage the battery too much. So it's not going to be all that tight anyway, but I'll just have like being fancy. Okay, you see my bush fuse there. So let's try a load on it. Thank you. Okay, so my bush fuse wasn't connected properly. Yeah. So we're charging a tablet, and you can see it's drawing 0.10 amps. Okay, so I'm pleased with that. That's the battery charger. So we're gonna pull it out. So let's pull the bush fuse out, and we're good to go. We've come to that part of the build where I get to call it yay or nay. So I'm calling this a successful build. Here you can see the box on its wheeled platform. I can move it around wherever I want to. we've tested. You know, I haven't blown this one up. It works. I've tested it under load. I'm still in one piece, so I'm quite happy about that. I call it a successful build because this works. It's not showing any amperage draw now because we don't have any load on it. I don't have the fuses in there, but I'm pretty happy with it overall. It means that the concept works, and I'm looking forward to testing it outdoors with some lights and on a camping trip. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, successful build for me. So once again from the homestead, thank you for watching my videos. To my subscribers, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Please hit the like, share and subscribe to the channel. Your likes, the more likes we get on the channel, or I get on the channel, the more my videos show up on YouTube. So I would appreciate that. And then I'm thinking about Patreon site, so I will let you know about that so that you all can donate money and I can build lots and lots of bigger things. So thank you from the homestead. Until next time, I'm out. Catch you on the next build.